Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Hoyt, Heumann Tree Saws, Lone Wolf Tree Stands, Nikon, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, RTP Outdoors, Spot Hog Releases, Wasp Archery, Viking Solutions, and Realtree.
Day 36, December 19th. I was saying yesterday at the end of our hunt that we were going to move up the valley 2 fields, and that's where we're going to go this afternoon. We're moving to the tube, and this is, for those who haven't been following it all season, there's a little narrow crossing on a ditch that goes between 2 small little food plots up in this valley. We've got a tube through there, so I mean, literally we've just nicknamed this spot the tube. And the buck that we're after is a deer that we've just called the tube buck because he's been living there all season. He's the deer that we saw last night. He's at least a 6-year-old deer to the best of my ability, looking at trail camera pictures over the years. And I would love to shoot that buck. Plus there could be another deer. We were looking at the footage from last night and there was another buck that popped in there that we didn't recognize. So there may be 2 shooters possibly down in this valley. The big thing we got working against us though is the direction this wind is blowing. It's coming straight out of the south. And that means that the whole way down into that blind, our scent is going to be blowing in the direction where at least some, if not most of the deer are bedding. And that's never a very good idea. I mean, the wind direction as you're going to and from your tree stand is just as important as the wind direction while you're in it, or in this case, it's a ground blind. So we're gonna hustle down and get in there, keep the windows closed in that blind, and hopefully the deer forget about it. It's early enough in the afternoon that it's still quite a while before they're likely to be on their feet. So we might be able to get away with it. I mean, we've got nothing to lose. The next 2 nights are gonna be north-northwest winds, and we're gonna be back on that other field where that big 8-pointer was that we saw on Monday evening. So we're gonna go back after him the next 2 evenings. So even if we mess this up just a little bit tonight, it's not the end of the world since we're not gonna be back here for a while. So it's a little bit of an all or nothing, and be fun. I'm sure we're gonna see some deer. They were all over the place in this spot last night. So hopefully, like I said, we don't mess it up going in, and we should have a pretty fun evening.
Angle's gonna make it really tough out the corner window. I can get him right there, but at the shape of the shoulder. Otherwise, I don't have a shot at him until maybe stop him and maybe shoot him right there. Yeah, that'd be pretty. Oh boy, that would be an easy shot though. Smelling something, wasn't he? I think so. The way he licked his nose. Yeah. I'm gonna put the caps on those vents.
Got about an hour left in this evening's hunt, and it just started to sprinkle. We could hear it sprinkling on top of the blind. The food plots, they were big and beastie. There's just a little tiny bit left in there, but mostly it's just kind of grass, some kind of volunteer grass that the deer seem like they're eating, but they've cleaned these things out. We were here sometime in the middle of November, and there was still a fair amount of food in here. Maybe that was early November. But either way, I think the weather is having some kind of an impact on the way the deer are moving. Just with this weather front coming in, it's supposed to be rainy, maybe even a little bit of snow tonight, and then getting colder tomorrow. It's dark, so we're going to run out of camera light early tonight, unfortunately, so we might not make it up until the end of Lego shooting time before we have to clear out. But we do have, like I said, about an hour left, and anything could happen in that amount of time. But just want to bring you a quick update, and I'll catch back up with you right before we leave the blind this evening and bring you up to speed on what all we saw today, and then a little bit about what we're going to do tomorrow.
Now is when she's going to smell us. She's right behind that tree. I can probably get her. You ready? She wouldn't go that way. She just crashed. Yeah, I mean, it was
Closing in on the end of the hunt here, and that doe came through right at, I don't know, 10, 12 yards going through that crossing, and it was too tempting for me. We looked behind that group to see if there was anything back there that might be the buck that we're after, but we couldn't see any other deer. So, like I said, we're losing light fast and closing in on the end. We probably got another 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes. So we'll wait just a little bit longer, and then we'll go get that doe. Shot looked really good to me. Wasn't very far of a shot, so I hopefully put it right where I needed to. We'll get her, and then tomorrow evening we're going back to that big bottom field where that big 8-pointer was 3 nights ago. That's the buck that we're most excited about. There's another one down there too that I nicknamed Scarface. That was a cool 10-pointer that'd be fun to get. So either one of them or a surprise buck, that's where we're going tomorrow. So check back again, and we should have 2 more evenings here down in that bottom, and hopefully that's enough to get one of those 2 bucks.